There we have a microphone. Perfect. Hey, it's James speaking. It's Wednesday afternoon. I'm just going to turn my mic level down here a little bit. See if we can get that under control. It's Wednesday. There we go. I'm going to turn my other machine down so the side's there. And I just want to welcome you if anyone's joining me live today. These sessions, obviously, it's live Q&A. If there are no questions, if no one comes on, that's fine too, because I've got all sorts of stuff to talk about when it comes to starting, building, and growing an education business. So I got all sorts of tech set up here today, playing around with some stuff. And one of the ones actually that I just finally got working, which was kind of interesting to me anyway, was I have a, well, I guess what you can call it. I've got the ability now to look at the live chats actually as they're coming in on another stream. So if you do have any questions and you want to put them in the chat, you should be able to here on YouTube, and I'll do my best to answer them and look at them and make sure that they get answered to the best of my ability. So, and again, if you haven't joined up at trainingsites.io, make sure to join below. There is a lot of stuff happening there, and actually that's one of the things I'm going to spend a little bit of time on today, because so much stuff is changing there. And you know, the odd thing is for me personally is I get absolutely slammed with all sorts of different ideas, different pieces of software, different ways to do things. I subscribe to tons of channels. On YouTube, I've been members of email lists for a decade of people in the industry, some of them longer, that have all been teaching online, that kind of thing. So there's a lot of information that comes in, and it can be really difficult trying to get a handle on which ones I want to try, which ones I want to play around with, whether I do it in a trial or staging site, or whether I put it onto a live site and play with it there. So that's something that's not overly, it's fun, it's a lot of fun, but it can get overwhelming and a little bit confusing for you. So the first thing is, I apologize for perhaps not doing a better job of keeping you insulated from all the stuff that I play around with. So that's, you know, that's kind of one of the things I just wanted to get up front, is that when I talk about a lot of the things that are here, it's because I'm going through it live in real time as I'm testing stuff or playing with stuff. And a lot of times what happens is the things that happen change or alter not my thinking. They don't change the direction, but they allow me to kind of evaluate different things and see how they apply to my unique situation. And I recognize that that's something that happens for all of us. So that's why, as well as courses, I make myself available to talk to people, to find out what's going on in their situation, and then having a wide range of options if you're going to be teaching online, or you want to do online videos, or you want to create courses, you want to do, you know, live teaching online, coaching, cohorts, that kind of stuff. I have enough background of the 20 years that I've been doing this. 23 years, I think it is now. So that's kind of where we're at. And again, if there are questions or stuff, you can always book a little bit of time with me. So what do you want to cover today? Is there anything that jumps out at you? Anything that you're interested in? Specific questions, whether it be from technical stuff to marketing stuff to creating the content and building out your campus? I'd love to hear your questions. And again, if there is anything, I'll do my best to answer them and go from there. So I'm just going to actually go and check this out. I'm going to go and open up, I think I have it here. Let me just do, this one's new. I'm actually, I don't know if you can see the screen. Hopefully you're able to see the screen. This is, I use a piece of software called Ecamm, which is one that is live streaming. There we go. Hey, it works, perfect. It's called Ecamm, and what it does is it does live streaming or live broadcasts. And I have the option of just recording it, just streaming it, or actually recording it and streaming it. And that's what I'm doing right now. And one of the things I didn't know how to do until recently is get the chats that show up here live and see what's happening. So let me just see if I can I'm going to actually try and do this and see what happens if I can actually. There we go. I don't know if I can do this where it shows up. So hopefully, again, you'll be able to. Where's the live chat? Again, I'm just playing around with this to see what happens. Again, if there's any questions, put them in the chat. That's the stuff that I'm trying to figure out myself and make sure that I have a handle on how it works, which is kind of cool stuff. But yeah, your chat will show up there and hopefully I'll be able to help you. So what do I want to do today? If there are no questions, I'm going to talk about a couple things. And one of them might be a little bit controversial, and I think that's okay, but this is kind of where my thinking's going. When it comes to online education businesses and teaching online, one of the things that I kind of recognized in the last while is that you have to remember when I first started, and a lot of the people that were in this industry for a long time, the only way that you could actually generate real traffic was through, without having paying for it, is doing joint ventures with people and or trying to rank highly on Google, because Google search and all of the things that are involved in, you know, ranking highly in the search engines, it was all about creating text content and having a website that organized all of that text content and made it available to be indexed by Google and hopefully show up high in the search rankings when people were looking through it and using Google as a search engine. And obviously what's happened in the last little while is that search is more as kind of organic traffic and text content marketing, I think, is being replaced by social media searches, and I use that term loosely, or social media influences, and more importantly, video search and the ability to have a lot of information created quickly that is organized well, hopefully around a particular channel. But search is being replaced, text search is being replaced in Google, and I think it's being replaced by YouTube. So having said that, what does that mean to you and I when we're creating websites now? And I'm just going to throw this out there, and it's something that I'm moving towards or lean towards. And the real gist here is that I think what we're going to see happen is that a website is going to be pretty close to not needed anymore. So I think there's going to be a move away from websites, specifically sites that are a traditional website, which is all about blogging and text and organizing all of these text posts and stuff that gets added to a website from a one-way, from the site owner being published out towards people hoping that they can find it. So I think you're going to see, and especially people in the teaching space or the how-to space, I think what's going to happen is you're going to see that there will be less or almost no reliance on blogging and even podcasting. I'm going to jump on that one in a minute, but podcasting, I think that whole kind of space of text and audio only, when I'm not talking about vlogging, I'm talking about audio podcasting. I think audio podcasting is going to be a secondary byproduct of YouTube and videos, but that whole kind of focus on having a blog on your website that you post content to on a regular basis, I don't think that is going to be something that is going to be as popular as it was, and I personally am not going to be spending any time on it. So it's kind of like the only thing that I think people in the education space, education businesses, what they should be, or we're going to see happen more of, is it's going to be a services or just a description of services on the website, maybe 1 or 2 pages about the services provided, and more importantly, how people can contact you to engage you on those services. And even the idea of a sales page, I think, is changing as well. I think, again, for me personally, writing long sales pages, traditional sales pages, a lot of the people that are coming to your site are coming because of YouTube and videos that they've seen, and they're coming to connect with you, not necessarily to go get information on how to purchase, because they've already made most of that decision by buying all or watching all of the videos with you or interacting with you on direct messaging and social media channels, and specifically getting to know, like, and trust you on YouTube. So for me personally, what's going to happen is I'm going to be exclusively on YouTube. I'm not writing any more text. I hate writing text. I'm not using any AI tools or any of that stuff to do like search engine optimized content and, you know, do automations and things for creating search. I'm not going to be spending any time on it for traffic generation. The only thing that I would be using it for is to complement video that has already been created and repurposing it and having a place to curate it. So if you don't have a website in the traditional manner where you're doing text blog posts and, you know, you've got big long sales pages and all sorts of big opt-in pages and lead magnets and all of that stuff, what's the other way to kind of look at this? And here's what I think, again, what I think and what I'm betting on is kind of going to happen here, and I think it's going to be pretty interesting, is we're going to see something along the lines of this. So right now, if for example, what would be good? If you just look and you look at all of the, I try and do it like this. And when everyone talks about a sales funnel, I like to think of it more as a sales hourglass. And the thing that is the thing that's the inflection point here is kind of that's the real part when someone is engaged with you. So this is like pre-sale. I have to make sure I get this cleaned up here. This is like I'll use pre-sale. I don't want to use lead. I prefer pre-sale here. So that's the pre-sale area, and then there's the post-sale is here. So there's kind of like an inflection point, right? It's like all of the stuff that you do before someone becomes a paying customer, and all of the stuff that you do after someone has become a paying customer, or at least engaged in part of your infrastructure, your business. So in the past, you know, there was like, you did all sorts of stuff to get multiple streams of leads in, and you did stuff like text posting, and you did social media, and you were throwing content up against the wall to get people in and get them into some sales funnel where you could capture their email address, or, you know, get a lead or something along those lines. And then after that, you'd have some kind of hopefully automated marketing that would happen there. And all of that stuff is kind of above the fold, in my opinion. And the thing that is changing here, again, this is just my kind of observation here, is the thing that's changing for a lot of people is this big kind of chunk is YouTube now. The majority of traffic that I'm getting is coming from YouTube videos now. You can reach thousands of people in a month without technically having to rank highly, but just providing good content about stuff that you're teaching anyway. So, you know, going out and publishing on a regular basis of things that make sense to the people you're trying to serve, and then also that fit into that topical authority map that I've talked about in some of the other sessions, that kind of whole big piece right here is where most of the traffic is going to come from. And the thing that's nice with this is because it's video, the purpose of the traffic is not to get people to a lead magnet. The purpose of the traffic is to educate people who are going to hopefully know, like, trust, and self-identify. And they're going to say, hey, you know what? This or what you're doing is something that I need. This is something that I'm looking for an answer for. This is something or a transformation that that I need in my business or I need in my personal life. So, excuse me, that whole big chunk of the funnel now is on YouTube. And some of the things we traditionally looked at, for example, as getting traffic with a traditional WordPress site, I'm personally not getting the traction or the traffic that I did with that. And more importantly, it takes too much time, energy, and effort. And even if you do get people in that particular manner, it's like there's too much work for them to try and educate themselves by reading a long bit of text and hopefully having it make sense. But if you can, add content on a regular basis in a video, they're far better off. And the whole key to this, I think personally, is making sure that when you're doing this is that you're following the stuff in the topical authority map that I've done a whole bunch of videos on here. And by the way, if you haven't, taken a look at this in the past, the one thing that you might want to consider is, let me just open this one up here. I'll open up my trusty copy of Xmind so that you can see it. And where's the one? Recents. Let's do that one. I'll just open this one up so you can see it. So this whole thing here, we'll fit it in the map. Hopefully that'll fit. There we go. So the first one is that, that campus of my blueprint, my campus blueprint. This one is all about making sure that, you have a real good understanding of what it is that people, let me just see if I can do this one. Just trying to remember how to do the zoom on this manually, but we'll just do it this way. So it's making sure that you have a core topic that you're focusing on, and then also that you have categories around that topic and you have questions about that topic that you're answering. So if you can bring people around with all of your categories and give them a full understanding of what your core business is about, that education or that information that you're sharing in videos is going to guide them or educate them through. And if you're trying to do this on text and organize it in blog posts, I personally find it very difficult to do, to actually create. And more importantly, it's hard for people to follow because the videos are not, the text is not necessarily sequenced in the same way that you can sequence a video in the terms of a playlist or groupings or a video podcast, which is in sequence. So you can do a lot of cool things in guiding people through a sales process with that you can't necessarily do when you're doing it outside of it. So I'm just going to look here for a second and see if I can get another page here to make sure there's no questions. And do I have any questions here? Let's find out. There we go. Let me try this one here. We'll just try this one and see if it comes in. No questions that I can see. If there are, put them in and I'll do my best to answer them again. And if you haven't liked and subscribed to the channel, I would love that too. Again, I try and do a video every day, sometimes 2 a day. Yesterday I did 3, for example. And again, that's just stuff that's happening that I capture, digital exhaust, and make sure to curate it or archive it on the site. So I think what's happening here is you're going to have people, again, looking and using or going all in on YouTube, capturing stuff that is raw, authentic, and not overly produced at all, and then being able to, publish it quickly and easily for people to build up a community of people who are interested in what it is that you're teaching. And the cool thing is people self-select when they do that, right? If you get people either subscribing or showing up, for example, or asking questions, whether it be direct messages externally of YouTube or right within it, that's making a kind of a big difference here. The other reason, I'm going to show you something, the other reason that this is interesting for, I think for people who are thinking about getting rid of their website or maybe considering it, let me just open up another screen here. Do a new window there. So let's go take a look at YouTube for a second. And if you haven't looked at YouTube recently, one of the things that you might want to consider is if we go take a look at, who's someone we can look at here? Where's one? Better Blogging. So here's one of the people that, there we go. I follow this guy, AI Foundations. He's really good. But I want to show you something, and again, hopefully it shows up here on this person's channel. If we go to his channel, AI Foundations, we open that up, you're going to see across the top here, there's a word, community. And this is the other thing that's happening too, is the stuff that you did maybe in the past on replying to comments on a website with a traditional blog, YouTube is in that space now. And my understanding is from the research that I've done and the people that I'm following that are up on this one, vidIQ is an example of another one. I'll put the links below as well to these after, but this is one where you're going to find that people, or the changes that happened last week at YouTube, one of the things that that I read and that was on the YouTube announcements is that they are going to be putting a lot more emphasis on channels who have an active community on YouTube as the platform. So again, this is something that might have happened with you on your blog posts, but now you've got your videos, you've got your playlists and podcasts on YouTube, and they've also added the ability to have a community on YouTube with your particular channel. So it's almost like they're trying to replace the traditional website and have it on YouTube without blog posts, but having video kind of do it. And in fact, I did a video, I think 2 months ago. One of the things that was announced as well is that YouTube is actually going to allow us to sell courses shortly. So they're going to have a homepage with videos on it, organized and curated in different categories put together. They're going to have courses that you can sell to monetize it right within your YouTube channel. And they've got a community tab that allows you to do a whole bunch of things like on this one, I think you have to go, let me just go to mine for a sec. And we'll go to my channel and show you some of the things that are put in here. But you can do a lot of things. For example, here, image poll, text poll, quizzes, and videos. So now you've got a live place to interact with people, to put it in and play around with it. So this is going to be interesting to see if people or some people make that kind of transition over. I think there's going to be a lot of value in it for creators and course creators because you're going to be able to have a replacement for your traditional blog. Now, having said that, I'm going to throw a wrench in it. In as much as this is going to be important, I think the specific part of this, and again, this is for the most part, but if we go back and we take a look at our little, my little video pencil here, all of this stuff is pre-sales. All of it is pre-sales. So, excuse me, you know, before it used to be kind of your blog. This thing always does the voice, that captures a voice. If I go blog, let's see, do this one. Blog. Oh, didn't get it. Okay. So it's like YouTube is replacing the blog. This stuff is above the sale. Not above the fold in copywriting terms, but it's above the sale. The goal for us is to take that YouTube traffic and be able to convert it into someone who's in our education business. So how do we convert people from YouTube into the education business? And I think this is where the campus plays in. And let me explain what I mean by that. So if you have a campus or an education business or a membership site, and again, if you don't know the difference between those two, I do have a video on that explains it. I prefer campus. I think that's more of an education business, more about teaching as opposed to building a community and members. It's more about teaching and students. But if you're going to monetize the people who are above the sale that you've generated on YouTube instead of your blog, it's a question of like, how do I get them in to my education business and start generating some revenue from them? And this is where your blog or the purchase as software as a service is gonna come in or play in. So here's what kind of the spin on it. If you are able to take someone who has raised their hand, who has consumed some of your content on YouTube, maybe responded, but they're going, I have a unique situation, or I want someone to guide me through the process that you've been teaching me, or I don't have time to do what it is you're telling me or teaching me how to do on YouTube. I just want it done. So how are you going to take advantage of that? And that's where you're going to have to bring them into either your membership site or your campus. And I'm going to say agency, if that is part of your business model that is included in your education business. Now, if you don't know all the different ways of generating income, I have a video and a checklist actually about, I've identified, I talk about 13 different ways. A course is just one of those 13 ways. So there's a whole bunch more involved, or more opportunities for creating or generating revenue from people in your education business. But that course or that system that you have them in, hopefully someone automated, getting them into that kind of system and started through a hub and spoke system, that is where the real value is. So how do you do that? So here's my gist on this. Let me clean this up. I think what you're going to see is you're going to see a place where people can ask specific questions and take specific free courses or overview courses, but you can get them in and have their email address and have them into your full community with all of your resources, as opposed to just the discussion community that's on YouTube, that is the one that they're asking about the video that you published on YouTube. Or you're taking surveys or doing polls to get real-time feedback on what it is that people want to see, or the areas that are of an interest to them, or in fact not interest. So you can take that information that's in the community tab and then kind of repurpose or fine-tune what it is that you're providing on your campus. So I think you're going to bring people in, and you're going to end up that you have two choices here. One is that you're going to keep them on your own. You're going to own your campus, or you rent space on a campus that someone else has as a software as a service. So classic example is right now, the one that's really popular is School. And I know there's ones that are competing with School are now coming out. I've heard of 3 in the last 2 weeks. So they're going to be identical to School, but a different name and maybe a couple different features, but really not too much different from that. Or you hear like Teachable or Thinkific or Kajabi. And in those particular campuses or membership sites, what's happening is you're taking people from YouTube and you're putting them into your membership platform or campus platform. And you have the choice of doing it yourself on WordPress or doing it on a third-party software as a service. And again, there's strengths and weaknesses to all of these, pros and cons, and I actually have a whole video on that as well on YouTube, kind of explaining the difference. And I'll try and put the link below if you're interested in that particular piece. So you kind of have to make the choice, which way am I going to go, what am I going to do with it? And that kind of brings me to where I'm at here is, oh, I got a comment, holy mackerel. Let's see what this is. I may seem excited. It's because the first time I have this set up, I want to see if it works. Oh, it's not working. Where is it? Let me see if I can find the compound. Let me open up a window here. Actually, I'll show you. Can I show you this one? Don't know how to do this. These are all the ones. I wish I had a producer that actually showed me all of this stuff. Where's my windows? Where's comments and reactions? Where's that one? I got a thumbs up, but no comments. Oh, well, okay. I do have there's a thing in Ecamm about comments and reactions, and I have no comments, no favorites, no reactions, just I got a thumbs up. Okay, I thought I was getting excited there. I thought I had a real comment or a real question. I'll keep that one up so hopefully I can see it a little bit more closely. Yeah, so here's kind of the thing. Again, this is me spitballing because there are no questions right now. I'm looking at this and I'm going, okay, I'm a big fan of owning my education business as opposed to renting space on someone else's platform. And I use the example of, do you want to own your home or do you want to rent an apartment? That's the example that I use. You know, if you own your home, it's like you own the entire home, the lawn, everything that you put in it. You have the ability to change the house that you're in. You can add rooms, change decorations any way that you want, finish a basement. You can make the backyard fancy. You can tear walls down, do whatever you want. And you're always in control because you own the house. On the other hand, if you go to software as a service, it's like you're going to an apartment building where they have 1-bedroom apartments and 2-bedroom apartments, and you got to pick one of them, whichever one fits you best. And if it ends up that you have 3 people in the family or 4 people in the family, and you've only got 2 bedrooms, it's like you got to go to a different apartment. So you're kind of limited in that respect. And then the facilities that you have are limited as well. If I have my own house and I want to go and put a pool in the backyard and a sauna, and I want to have a big deck with a pergola, and I want trees to have a lot of privacy, I can do that. On the other hand, if I want to go and have additional resources in my apartment, I got to use the community center that only has the pool, the 4 bikes for exercises, and it's like I pay my fees, my monthly condominium fees. I get to use what they have, and I can't make any changes to that. So I'm a big fan of owning it. Both work, pros and cons to each one. So if that's going to happen, where does all of this go? And we're back to the website part. And here's where I think it's going. I have, and let me open these up just because I can. And I hopefully this, I don't want to open up a customer site. So where would be a good one to do here? So I'm just going to do this one. We'll open it up in a different screen, actually. I'll open it up in Safari so it shows up and I'm not logged in. So if I go, we'll open up trainingsites.io just to show you. One of the things that I have set up, and it's actually here on this site, but it's in the background. I initially was using a piece of software called BuddyBoss, and BuddyBoss is an offshoot of BuddyPress. It's a WordPress plugin that allows you to do things like groups, discussion forums, member profiles, member messaging. There's just a whole bunch of things about building a community or whatever you want to call it. All sorts of stuff that's available with that WordPress plugin. They also had a theme so that the particular site was using a WordPress theme, and it was the BuddyBoss theme, and it was set up specifically to work with this BuddyBoss community platform, and in our case, either LearnDash, Lifter, or Tutor LMS, which were WordPress plugins that were LMSs or learning management software plugins so that you could put courses in. So I had training sites set up, and in the background it still is available. It had BuddyBoss and LearnDash and a plugin for calendars to do classes, and that one was there. And the problem that I had with it personally, and this is the other cool thing about I think where the changes are coming for us in the industry, is that you can get overwhelmed. And the thing that was happening is, in my experience dealing with the market that I'm dealing with, now I have some customers who are business to business that are doing certifications and stuff. That's a whole other story. But the space that I'm in, where it's professionals and coaches and consultants and small businesses who are trying to generate or earn money from their education business, what I found was that the sites were a little bit too complicated, or there were too many options when it came to courses. And what do I mean by that? If people are looking on YouTube for course content, they generally have a specific question or questions about a current problem that they're trying to fix. And our job in an education business, again, this is my 2 cents, is to either teach someone a particular skill and or provide them a way to apply those skills to get some kind of transformation that they want to have. So having said that, just putting it in perspective, you have to have your courses so that they are very, very simple to consume and still guide people along. And if you have a really complex setup for taking courses that have all sorts of bells and whistles, what you often end up with, and the industry standard I've seen as low as 10%. So if 100 people take your course, 10 people will actually consume it all. And there's a number of reasons for that, but the one that I found was that it was just too complicated and too much work to do courses on a regular basis. So in the past, you had something like Buddy Boss with all of these cool features and these complex courses, big long courses, and people aren't finishing them. And especially now with so many people, or so many, all of the AI tools available to us, where people are trying to figure out how can I throw up slop courses against the wall that are just AI regurgitated stuff and call it a course. You're having all of this content thrown into all of these courses, and it's just really, really hard to keep people engaged in the course content because it's not curated in a way that they want to consume it. And even if it is, it's too complex to take it. So we've got all of these pieces in WordPress. It's really complex. Here's where I think it's happening. And this is the one that we're moving from to another piece. And this one, I'll open this one up and hopefully we're in. Let me just, do I want to open this yet? No, I'm going to not open it yet. There's a company called Fluent or WP Managed Ninja, and they have a whole bunch of different WordPress plugins. And one of the ones that they've had that I've been using for ages was called Fluent Support. And that is a help desk right in WordPress. So that's where our help desk is. So if someone opens a ticket or has a question, it goes into Fluent Support. It's right here on the website. It's not another piece of software that you have to connect all over to other parts of your business. It's right here on my campus. So we had Fluent Support. The other one that they had was they came out with another piece of software called Fluent Booking. And what Fluent Booking is, and I'll put all the links to these ones. Fluent Booking, I'll do some tutorials on it because it is something that most people can apply. Fluent Booking is a project management plugin, and it works directly on your website, directly with WordPress. And what it allows you to do is do all of the things you would traditionally do on a third-party piece of software, and then try and organize what are the steps or processes that you do for customers when you're working on a project with a customer. So the agency part of your business. And that's in fact where stuff here and the services that we do here for customers. We have a Start, Build, and Grow program where we help people build courses, or we help people build their campus, or we help people market the courses. That's all managed in Fluent Booking, which is here on the site. There's also Fluent CRM, which is the customer relationship management one, which does all the automations of all of the marketing. Here it's on the site. Now, the one that they've just launched, that I've been a beta tester for all of those products for almost a year now, I think 8 or 9 months, I've actually been beta testing all of these ones as they've been released. The one that'll be available, I think, next week or the week after is called Fluent Community. Now, what is Fluent Community? Think of Fluent Community is a really, really, really simple Buddy Boss and LearnDash. So they've taken all of the stuff that were in these big plugins that tended to get confusing with a lot of options, and they've made them very, very simple to use for the people who want to consume the information. So let me see if I can open one of these up, and I'll just show you kind of where it's going. So let me go and see. I hope we've got a saved password here. Yeah, I think so. And again, if there are questions about this, just let me know and we'll go there. I did have Martin's got I got someone, hey, cool, let's see if it works. Oh, it's not working. Let me see if I pick that, if it shows up. There we go, Martin's there, perfect. It actually worked. Hey, pretty cool. I got that one working. First time I've had a chat built into a live stream. Great. If there are any questions, put them in and I'll do my best to, again, to answer them. This is cool. I'm glad that happened. I'll have to learn how to use it a little bit more. Sorry, I got off on a little bit of a tangent there. So Okay, so here's community. I'm going to show it to you really, really simple. What I'm doing right now for us internally on this site is I am taking the 40 courses that are in LearnDash and I'm actually transferring them over, kind of over the ones that are important to bring over, because some of them are older. I've been doing this a long time. Some of them don't apply necessarily to where I'm at in my business, and more importantly, where you're at and the information that you need or want. So moving the courses over to this community plugin, and then also setting up the plugin. So, hey, Simon, how are you? And Big Mick, there it is. Thanks, guys. I'm just going to play with this just because I've never done it before. And let me see, there's Big Mick, it works. And there's Simon. Perfect. Cool. I'm really happy now that this works. I'll be able to get it set up and be able to do it next time as well. So, okay, so here's where we're at. We're going to open up the community. The piece on the community, and again, this is the other thing in education business. I'm not talking about traditional website digital marketing. I'm talking about teaching online and focusing on educating people and earning money by educating people. The way that this is set up is that I personally, what we're going to be doing moving forward is we're going to do, sometimes it's called blended learning, sometimes it's called a flipped classroom, but what's going to be happening is I'm going to be having cohorts, kind of like mini cohorts for a week at a time that focus on the starting part of building an education business, the building part of building your education business, which is all about your campus and your courses, and then the growing part, which is about marketing your campus and your education business. So we're going to be doing starting, building, and growing. And there's Big Mick. I'll get to that one in a second there. Big Mick says, how would you rate the forum aspects of Fluent Communities? That's a great question, and I'm going to show you moving forward here. So what I'm doing is I'm having cohorts or blended learning where it's going to be live sessions like this that are private to people in the cohort, where we can have conversations back and forth, questions. They might be Zoom calls. I might do them as Zoom calls just so that there's more interactions if the groups are small. And then what's going to happen is we'll have video tutorials to supplement the live learning. And there'll be a start and a finish to these. So at the end of it, for example, the end of the start one, you'll know, for example, you'll have a topical authority map where you have your topic and questions and categories. You'll have the business model picked out for your site. You'll have all of the goals and outcomes you're looking for. That will be in the start cohort. We'll have one about building, which is building out your campus and creating your first course. That'll be in the build cohort. And then we'll have the grow one, which is setting up, how do I set up my hub and spoke marketing so that I have email marketing automations and social media posting and being able to run that whole hub and spoke series again. So it's going to be blended learning, a little bit of both, and it's going to be courses that are supplementing the particular thing. So I'm going to open up the community here. I don't know what I'm registered for as this particular users, but this is what Fluent Community looks like inside. Okay, so here's on the left-hand side, this looks very, very similar to Facebook or something. This is the one you can actually get in here now. If you join, you can certainly register for this and get in to play around as we finish it up. But this one is far simpler than the other ones. The question that Big Mick had was, how you would rate forum aspects of Fluent Communities? Technically, there are no forums. There are no forums. There's only a live discussion feed. And that was one of the big problems that I had specifically at doing stuff with Buddy Boss, was they had a group and forums. They were separate. And sometimes a group had a forum, other times a forum didn't have a group, and sometimes a group had there was too much going on and too much for the people to understand where they were supposed to be doing stuff or not doing stuff. So the way that Fluent Community has got it set up, it's like a standard feed that you already know and use if you're using LinkedIn, if you're using Facebook, If you're using any of the other social media kind of platforms, it's now there and it looks similar and it's very, very, very clean. So in this particular case, they call them spaces or communities. I have a getting started one, which will be open to everyone. So anyone who registers will be able to ask questions and get in there. And then there's just one, say hello. And this is one about, hey, just introduce yourself. So if you are coming in to visit it, go in and do that. And again, I haven't announced this or anything. It's just something that we're getting ready to basically work out. And there's the cohort. So I got the campus builders cohorts, campus course builders. So we got the builders, the marketers, so all of these different kind of pieces that are there. That's where the cohorts are. The courses are very, very simple. It's not fancy courses, but it's like you've got a section, and each section can have videos, and any of these particular videos have traditional stuff where they've got all of the text and information you want to put in that you would normally associate with a course. You can have materials or links to additional materials, and they have the ability to put a video in that's associated with each lesson. So these courses are straightforward and to the point. Not a lot of fancy stuff to it, but it's just there and it's easy to consume. And again, my personal thing is that you've got so much content on YouTube, which are all sorts of videos and all sorts of different topics. Your ability to curate and organize the content into a process or something to get started is where the value is on your particular campus, and that's where you're going to be able to monetize it. Other question was, let me just open this one up. Again, I'm just getting the hang of this thing. Let me just do this one. Is there any way to segment each topic or is one long thread? Good question. And there's a couple ways of doing that. And let me just open these ones up. There is a general feed here. Do I have the comments? The comments show up on top there. Okay. I didn't think I wanted that to happen. Okay, if it does, I apologize. I'll have to figure out how to do that. There, that one's better. Yeah, so you have a general feed, which is one that is just, feed, everything is in the feed. You can segment them by community. And you can also, if you can see the screen there, we can also sort them in a couple particular ways right now. Now you have to remember, this is still beta software. It's not live. It hasn't been released. So I think that's going to happen in the next couple weeks. And again, if that's something that's really important, hey, just we'll be able to get that set up, or at least ask for it and have it done. So you're allowed to have a particular community, or if you want to call it a group or a place to discuss stuff, you can have one that is here, and it's private to the people who are either associated with this particular community or space or not, and you can sort it. Now, the other cool thing, and this is why it's exciting for me personally, is I should do one. I'll do this as well, because the other piece is Fluent CRM, and I had an idea for a video that I have written down as one of the topics I want to cover, and segmenting. Big Mick was asking about segmenting. The way that I recommend segmenting is with the use of tags. So if you don't know what a tag is, it's like any tag that you see online when you're or if you have a WordPress site or any of the content marketing ones where you kind of organize stuff with either a category or a tag. You can do tags right within Fluent CRM and assign tags to people and assign tags to content. So for example, that's the way the courses work. So I have another course that's here. This is one I covered in a video before, and this course is marked private, and this particular course is only available to someone who has a tag, which is the Campus Pass tag. So person can only access this course if they've purchased, and when they purchase, they get a tag that says Campus Pass. If they have the tag, this one shows up for them. If they don't have the tag, it doesn't. And the exact same thing can be done for any of these particular feeds that we're talking about, that I was showing you. You can have it for any particular tag. You can set it up so that only certain people get access to it based on the tag that they have. And that's built directly into this with Fluent CRM, which is the other piece that's there. And there's other ways of doing it. One of the other ones that we've used is called, and I'm a big fan of, is WP Fusion. Uses tags the exact same way. So, you know, if you're not using Fluent CRM, but you do have software on WordPress that allows for tagging, you would be able to do the same thing, to be able to segment people either by a list or a tag and be able to control who sees what and who doesn't see what. The other thing with segments too is that if, for example, I'm in the main feed here and I have someone who's in one group and another person that's in another group, but the groups are separate, if a person only has access to one group and they go to the feed, they're only going to see that one group's feed. On the other hand, the person that has access to both, if they go to the feed, they're going to see the entire feed because they're a member of both groups. So this main feed or activity feed is the thing that will segment automatically based on the groups that they're in. And then right now you can sort them, not segment them. And again, that's a great idea. I'll get on the, I'll have to bring it up and see if it's been mentioned in the beta site, just to see if someone has requested it as well. Again, if there's any other questions, please let me know. Again, I'll do my best to answer them. How long have I been going here? 51 minutes. Holy mackerel, it goes fast. Let me just take a sip of tea here. So that's where I'm going with this, is this very, very simple courses that are sequences or collections of videos about a specific process. And then the place where I'm going to be charging money for is the more courses that have more content in them or that are a bigger transformation I'm promising, and then the cohorts, which will be paid. So cohorts involve me, so I'm answering specific questions about how you can apply the ideas in your unique situation and actually have you do them during the cohort so that we can go back and figure out exactly how it fits, the information fits into what you're trying to accomplish. That's how I'm going to be monetizing this particular campus. Now, the other thing I'll just show, other question here was, like a traditional forum where you can have various threads on different topics with each community scroll. Yeah, and my understanding is that there won't be a traditional forum in these particular ones. There isn't at this particular case. I think what they will do is in the space, there's one that's done by a tag. Let me actually open it up on another page here. I'm just going to log in on another site because it's a good question and I'm not 100% sure of how this is going to work. So let me take a look. I'm opening up another screen just on another monitor here so I can see how this particular piece sets out in the cohorts or the groups. Yeah, I think what their focus on this one, let me just pull the screen over so you can see it. So if in a particular group, as an example, this is a specific group. So I don't know if it's, they don't have a particular topic that's threaded in this particular case. This was when I was just playing with buttons, but I'm just going to put test post in a group. Pardon my spelling. Tags, and if I post it, yeah, it's in the Teach Online group, but I don't have a way to organize it at this particular piece. New activity, oldest, alphabetical likes. No, so I guess there are no nested threads at this point. So that was a question. Hopefully that answers it to you. It's not a traditional forum. That's not there. Again, I think what the intent was to keep it simple. You can still add a form if you wanted to use a form plugin and include it here. You can certainly do that and embed it in. But in this particular case, in the Fluent community, as it is today, no, that's not included. So here's the other thing I just wanted to show you, and I did this in a video yesterday. I just set this up, is that in as much as I said all of the videos on YouTube, I'm just keeping them on YouTube. The other thing I wanted to do is I've got 300 on YouTube now. I've got another 1,000 videos on Vimeo from over the years. So what I wanted to do is also have all of those videos here on my campus. And this is what I've done with that. So this I just set up, and this is on WordPress. You notice there's no blog here, right? I have no blog posts. There's nothing in the way of blogs. Everything is done in video on this now. So what I did is I set up an Elementor template with advanced custom fields. So I've got a separate post type for YouTube videos, and the YouTube videos that I have set up. So we'll just open one of these up. I've created a template here. So this is the YouTube video that plays, but I've got a title here. You can see there's a summary and key takeaways. So this is a summary of the actual YouTube video. You don't get this on YouTube. You don't get the actual summary and 5 key steps, but I have this one created, and then I've also got additional notes about the video, and you can see that this one is 20 minutes and 17 seconds. It was recorded on this date, and if I go back to, so each of the videos on YouTube is now being added in the tutorial library. So it's not a course, but there's great value in here, and it's like, do I want to watch 20 minutes, or do I want the key points and key takeaways here? If you've ever heard, I wasn't really, up on it. There's, I guess an acronym is TL:DR, which is, I guess, is too long, didn't read. And on YouTube, it's probably TLDW. It's like too long, didn't watch. So I wanted to have these tutorials here on the site so people, once they were here, they could find a specific answer to a specific question that wasn't in a course, but I also wanted a way for them to not have to watch the entire video, but be able to get a good snapshot of what's covered and where it's covered during the actual video. Okay, so that's an example of a template, and what I did on this one is yesterday I purchased a little piece of software called Grid Builder, and I put a link in a video to it yesterday. That was one of the ones I did yesterday. And I have the ability, for example, to search. If I just do a search here, it'll give me all of the ones that have 40 in the content in the title. And these are all of the ones that are, for example, some of the videos that are 40. And I can go and play around with those and say, give me all the videos that are from AI tools, sort them by alphabetical or newest or oldest or what have you. And then I also have some collections, which are ones that are all about a specific topic. So I can go and play around with these and just search in those ones. So it's the ability to sort, get in here, play around, and have only the information that you want, and have a quick way to do it without having a course. And you might think this is kind of like the replacement for the blog. And the blog is on YouTube. All I've done is I've taken the exact same YouTube content and hopefully added a little bit of value with it by including the summaries, the notes, the transcriptions, and any additional resources that were mentioned. Okay, so any other questions there? I've been yapping for a while here. How long have I been going at this? Holy mackerel. 58 minutes. Any questions? That would kind of be great. I just want to share, one of the other questions I got asked before was one about, if you've watched any of the videos that I've done, I talk about something called capturing your digital exhaust, and that there's so much value in just capturing the things that you're doing internally or the things that you're doing for customers. Obviously, if you have their permission to capture it and reuse it or repurpose it while you're actually doing it. And I think a good example of that I did yesterday is if I go take a look at these videos, what I did internally is I went and took a look for a piece of software or WordPress plugin that would allow me to do nested searches or complex searches and build out what these are called as facets, or ways to sort or organize content. So I was looking for a plugin, and then what I did is I did a video up while I was doing this and getting it set up. So I was capturing something that I was doing internally and turning it into a video, because I'm sure there's other people that have a list of courses or have a list of videos, and they would sure love to know, how do you organize it other than put it in a WordPress category? How do you sort it and select it, group it, ungroup it, that kind of thing. So that's just an example of capturing digital exhaust and turning into something that has value for your customers. And I think the student part of this is that your ability to curate content and organize it is where our value is as teachers, as well as being there, but simplifying things and trying really hard to make all of this information that's available and make it something that's simple, that people understand. Sorry, I wasn't showing the screen there. So that was kind of the piece that I was talking about at the top here. I just did a video capturing how I set that up and put it in while I was doing it. And the other thing that's kind of neat with that, and I think it's far more authentic. There's this whole big buzz on being authentic right now, especially on YouTube. If you do it while you're doing it, a lot of times you go, oh, that's how it works, or how the heck does this work? Doesn't make sense, or let's try this and see what happens. And that's like real life, real people trying to do this stuff that you might be doing. So I think there's value in that, of not making the same mistakes that the person that was showing you how to do it did. If you are wanting to learn how to do this kind of stuff, but more importantly, it allows you to be a little more authentic or real life with people when you're doing that. So any more questions? What have I got here? Let me just see if there's anything else. I don't think so. Oh, I don't think so. Okay, that's cool. I got to find out how to get rid of that comment on here. Let's try this one. Okay, I'll figure that one out. Yeah, so kind of a recap. Here's a recap. I think what's going to happen is there's going to be less of a focus. Again, this is for education businesses and how-to videos, people that are trying to teach something. I think there's going to be a move away from traditional websites as the place to have your marketing material. It's going to be replaced by YouTube and YouTube content, lots of it, that is how-to content and how-to tutorials that answer specific questions that people are searching for answers for. I think that is where the marketing is going to happen, on all of that content that's there, and your ability to get out and rank highly in the spaces that you want is what our goal as marketing is, as long as your content fits within step one of my campus map, was that topical authority map. What's the hub of your business, the core topic? What are the categories associated with that topic? And what are the top 50 or 25 questions on each of those categories? If you have a YouTube video that answers a specific question or group of questions, that's what's going to be on YouTube. And the purpose of it is to get people into your campus, to get them to actually find out how it all fits together. So we're telling pieces of what the site that we have, the business that we have, is the how it applies to them. And I think that whole idea with blended learning and videos complementing each other, flipped classroom, whatever you want to call it, that's where the real value is. So all of our marketing on YouTube. On YouTube, we're going to be able to earn a little bit of money selling courses at some point, simple courses. And the community tab, from all of my understanding from other marketers on YouTube and also the releases from YouTube, they're going to be putting a lot more emphasis on the community tab in YouTube. So we're going to have a lot of video content. We're going to have some little tiny sales of courses, monetizing courses, and a community, and all of that is above the sale. That's all above the sale content. It's not a blog post on your website. It's not necessarily about making social media posts, which are all super, super busy right now. It's about how do I get my YouTube content in front of people. And that means getting YouTube content up, more of it, answering the specific questions that you've created or find out the challenges that people are facing in your particular space. And then once you've got that, you got to bring it down to some kind of place for your business, a membership site or a campus, depending on whether you want to have members that you're always feeding information to, or students that you're trying to provide a transformation for, or teach them a new skill, and then trying to monetize them with all of the 13 different steps that you can have for earning some money with your students and trying to automate that as well. Hopefully this kind of makes sense to you. I know I get kind of going on this. I think it's a perfect time to be able to teach online. There's lots of exciting stuff happening, and the best thing is you don't have to do all of this. If you do just a little bit of it, get started with it, pick your shots along those 10 pieces in the map that I've put together for you. You've got yourself a real business that can generate some income, whether that be one-time or passive, depending on the business model you set up. But the opportunity is there. You just got to make sure that you have a passion and answers that people have for you. Okay, one of the questions, I just got a question, Big Mick, was, what are the 13 steps again? And is there a link to the video? Yeah, I'll show you a couple things here. Let me just pull this one up here. I think I can do this one. Hopefully I'll be able to find it. I'm gonna do one. I do everything in maps. 13 ways to monetize your community and courses. So let's open up that map and see what we got there. There we go. Okay. So I'll make this map and the course available for you in the link below. Let me just see if I can make this a little bit bigger so that you can see it. So these are the different this is a different model that I put together. And let me just see, we'll make it even a little bit bigger, hopefully. Hopefully you'll be able to see that. So here's kind of the 5 keys. It's like charge your members. There's different models around that. There's selling courses. There's agency, which is the done for you, the blended, and then earn money from your members. And I'll just give you a couple key ones on here. And these are the ones that I focused on. Is you can create premium memberships. So it's like a free membership, just as an example, and then a paid membership. That's one of the business models. The other thing is you can sell premium content. So I'm talking about like a flagship program or course and individual mini courses. People are selling newsletters. So I did another video actually on newsletters because I think newsletters are another huge piece of this. And it's something that I did in the past a lot. And I actually did this week, sent out the first one that I've sent out in maybe 15 years. I think there's a real big push on newsletters, which is kind of neat too. Premium courses, premium events. You're going to see people doing live workshops now that are not necessarily about a course, but live workshops that are online, that are paid workshops. Not webinars, but workshops. Again, premium courses that are standalone courses. You'll often see these ones with a static launch or a pre-launch and a time frame ones. They may come out once a year, 3 times a year, what have you. Premium services. Example of this is if you go to one of the ones that we did. Let me just open this one up. I'll open up a new window. Hopefully it'll show up here. So here's one as an example that I did up, and it's a service that I have for people who are looking at all these AI prompts. They want to create a course, but they just are stuck or need help. So we have one that's a service. It's a done-for-you service. So I want to build a course with you. So it's a done-for-you service to create your online course with AI. So we actually go through, use the prompts that we've taught, increase the course content so that all you have to do is basically record it if you want. So scripts, content outlines, ideal students, being able to create visual aids, handouts and resources, sales content. And the thing is, all of these pieces that are here are stuff that's in YouTube that I've created videos on, but a lot of people get stuck or they don't have the time or they need some guidance on how to actually put this all together. So this was one where I have a done-for-you /service, premium service, that's just something about the YouTube videos that I've already been creating. So let me just pull this up again. You'll see premium blended courses. I talked about that, where it's like I've got a cohort or a particular sessions that I'm going to do, a workshop that is supplemented by live training. Swag and merchandise. Once you get going here, there are a lot of people, especially on YouTube, that are selling swag now, or merchandise that's on. Just another revenue stream. You don't have to work really hard at it. It's there for you. Clubs, another one. Donations. See a lot of people that with bigger YouTube channels, for example, they have super chats, things like that. You'd be surprised how well you can do with that. Patreon memberships are stuff that kind of shows up on this. But these ones are all premium content so that you're in a position to monetize a relationship that you have with the people on YouTube to at least start to get them into your ecosystem. If you're going to sell particular courses, there's a whole bunch of different ways to sell courses, right? It's like buy access to the community, get free courses. Or you want to sell a single course, a one-off course, and you've got 30 courses. I've seen no one with only one course. In all my years now, everyone adds more courses. So it's like single course models, grouped courses where you have bundles. You can have a single course, a bundle, a membership as 3 different versions of it. You can have yearly, monthly, lifetime memberships. You can have one-time ongoing. I have some people who have a course that course lasts 1 week, but the access to the course material only lasts 6 months. After that, when they do the next version of it, you have to get an upgrade to get the access to the videos, the updated videos that you already had before. Agency done for you. This is a big one for education businesses, depending on the market you're in, of course, is because there's a lot of people that know it, they understand it, they just don't have time to do it themselves. So if you offer the ability to have it done for you, and this is one of the things that we do, this is the big part of the revenue for my business is on the agency side. Definitely a big part. And again, that's something that's post-sale. And when you have a lot of YouTube videos up and you're explaining a lot of information and people might be in your free community, but you've got that trust level, liking level, all of that stuff is already done. And they know that you're an expert and an authority in something because they've seen all the work that you've been doing on YouTube. Yeah, some of the blended models, there's all sorts of different ones that are available there. And if you choose blended, it's like you got to kind of decide, am I going to do one-on-one coaching? Is that the kind of blended learning I'm going to do? Am I doing a set group? Am I doing anyone can come group and it's live at a time? So there's all sorts of different ways to do that around coaching. And the other one was the 13 ways here from members. You can charge for certain categories of courses, a paid directory. One of the ones that we have, I have mypickleballfriends.com. So I actually charge, I have a directory in my community, in the campus, that companies can go and add themselves to the directory to market to the community that I have. So the companies, it's free to the players of pickleball, but the companies that are promoting to the players, they got to pay to be in the directory. Having a multiple, another one that we did on this one, just an example, is the mypickleballfriends.com. The part I set up in there is that I have courses that are my courses, but I also have been out approaching other instructors to put their courses in my campus, my education business, and do revenue sharing for it. So they don't have a campus. I'm saying, hey, you got a course, an online course? I'll put it in to our campus and we'll give you 80% of the revenue from any of the sales that you get in your course. So you can do that as well. There's still all sorts of ways to sell advertising, sponsorships, paid ads, joint ventures, all of that kind of stuff. One of the other ones is, integrate ad networks. If your community's big enough, you can actually go and have, there's one that we have set up as well that's an Amazon feed, and it's like I forget what it's called, but it's like you put in a little script, it adds Amazon ads directly within the content to the people that are already there. And then affiliate products, which is a big part of it. You can have partner deals, you can have affiliate networks, sell sponsored content. That's what you see on YouTube, but you can also see it directly in your campus, your education business. And in fact, that Start, Build, and Grow, the last part 10, is all about using other people's traffic and other people's products to be able to go out and do that. So I think these 13 were the ones that I was referring to, but there's a ton of ways to earn money with your campus and with your students. But you have to understand, my students, which are the ones that are best for my students, which are the ones that are best for me, what's the goal of my campus or my education business, and how does all of this fit in? So hopefully that helps for you and it makes some sense. Let me just, how many people we got here? I don't know how many people are left. Is there anyone watching still? Don't know. Okay. So that's kind of where we're at. Hopefully it helps. I'm going to wrap it up now. I'll put the links and stuff below. If you haven't already, you can go to trainingsites.io/join. Hopefully you'll get in while we're playing around with this and putting it all together, and we'll go from there. So take care. Expect the best. My name is James, and we'll be back again next Wednesday and tomorrow as well with another great video, how to start, build, and grow your online business. Take care and expect the best.